Zoom recording. Okay, we are now recording. So I want to welcome everyone to the Shirley Shopping Show. And we have Tiffany, we have Bradford and myself today, and we have some guests, which thank you for coming on, guests. So let's see, originally, Bloethe was going to start. So I think what I'm going to do then is I'm going to change it up a little bit. Both Tiffany and Bradford are probably ready to roll, right?
As always.
So I'm going to do eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Let's go with Tiffany.
Fantastic. Good morning, everybody. I am a talker, so if you see me looking down,
talk a little bit about her business, what she does. Yeah.
Okay, so I am a holistic life coach. My business is Momentum Life Mastery Coaching. It's been going strong for now about 5 years, although it was born out of being a lifelong student and teacher myself. My background is in early childhood education, working with children and families for over 25 years. So I've been a teacher, an administrator, and working that closely with people. You just have a heart to help. I wanted to do it better. And I wanted to do it in a way that would be transformative and that would really get to the root of issues that children and families were dealing with, and to help them really like achieve their goals and to not have to take years and years and years to do it, right? So it's a very focused approach, very customized. And it always starts with the person. It starts with what they want. Sometimes if they don't know what that is, then that's the first thing we do, is we start to figure out what exactly is the disruption, where is the chaos, where is the pain or the hurt or the fear or the anger or whatever that is. And then once we start to figure out what it is, we start to work together individually to see what to do about it. And that looks very different for each individual because it's not a cookie cutter process, right?
Yep. So when you work with somebody, if they just come to you and go, yeah, I'm feeling kind of, what's the right word? Like, I don't know what I want to do with my life. I'm unfocused. I just feel kind of lost or stuck. So
frustrated.
What is one of the processes, for instance? Let's say somebody just feels lost.
Yeah.
What would be a process that you would use for them to just kind of be able to figure out what it is that's actually holding them back from feeling a little bit more alive in what they want to do or what they feel is like the right thing for them?
Yeah. So the fundamental thing that I always start with, I have to let them talk. I have to listen for two reasons. One, this process only works in partnership, and it only works if there's trust. And that can only happen when there's like authentic concern and listening to the individual. It's been my experience that people begin their healing the instant that they feel actually heard.
Right.
You know, the first time that they look at you and they see, you know, they're not trying to fix me, or they're not trying to blame me, or they're not trying to lay all this in my lap. Once they get past that initial fear of, well, what does it look like to unpack these feelings and emotions? And they begin trust, and they trust that, you know, you'll keep their confidence, that you're not going to be there in judgment, that there is a place of love that you're coming from. That's number one. So it's listening. That's first. Second, we start to talk about what's already happening in their day-to-day, right? So sometimes big problems are masked in mundane and small packages. It may be a perspective of how they're looking at something. So it could be a mindset thing. It could be something that was instilled in them. So something that they're always hearing from someone that they love or trust, or wanted to love or trust and let them down, right? So it could come from any number of places. It could come from a specific fear. It could come from a physical sense of fear, like a base survival instinct. So that's your housing, that's your health, that's your money, your food. Like, so it could come from a very base place, or it could come from a place of, you know, you've been doing some work on yourself, you want to ascend, but you don't know how, you don't know what to tap into, you don't know how to find the modality that speaks to you. So it could be any number of those things. So I would say the first thing is to listen. The second thing is to identify what is happening in their current day to day, and then to prioritize what thing to do first that's going to bring the most immediate success. Because as you know, once you get that like success rolling, it feels good. You want to keep it going. And once you feel supported, that only allows you to soar even higher and farther and faster. So that's a part of the process. Like I said, I have an arc that I follow, but it is very individual depending on the person. So every single person is not going to get every single same thing. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we are individuals and as such need to have different traumas obviously would need to be addressed differently. I mean, I get that. And when life coaching is technically is what you're referred to as, correct? Okay.
Correct.
So basically you're talking about hitting all areas of someone's life. So whether it be business or family, you're going to be able to address those needs and give them some specific tools, let's say. Can you give us for instance, of something that's pretty average that you deal with and what you've helped somebody in particular, obviously no names, what they've done and then how they've been able to move forward?
Certainly. Let's see, taking an average of the people that I work with, because I think that that's fair. I tend to draw people who want to help other people. They have a natural heart for helping, and they have a natural heart for healing. So I get teachers, I get other practitioners. I even had a psychiatrist once, which I thought that was just the bee's knees that I was helping a psychiatrist, because I'm like, yeah, I come to you. Like, what? No, but it was regarding time management. And for me, I always come from a place of experience. I don't pretend to be able to solve all issues. If it's something that I feel I can help with, then I do. So for example, time management is huge. I am a mom and wife. I have 4 kids. I work full time and I have this business. I can teach you time management strategies. I can walk you step by step on how to get there. So someone will say, oh, I don't have time to go to school. I don't have time to look for a new job. I don't have time to go to parent teacher conferences. I can't go to school. I can't. So desire might not be their issue at that moment. Their issue is where to find the specific pockets of time based on their life that can help them to do that. So I'll work with them. Again, we'll look at, what does the day look like? We'll talk about why does this even matter? Like, what is the big deal? What would this look like to you if you were able to achieve this? So once we make it real, then we can break it down into smaller manageable parts. So I'm not going to tell you to tomorrow morning get up and set your alarm clock for 2 hours earlier because you need 10 hours a week to work your business or to go to school. What I'm going to say is, first of all, let's look at your evening. Let's see how you go to bed. Let's see what does your bedtime routine look like. And let's start there. That's the base that we'll start with. So we might develop a bedtime routine that involves relaxation. Perhaps there's a meditation that they can listen to going to sleep. Perhaps there's a brain dump journal that they can do. It depends on the person because everything doesn't work the same way for everyone. But then I might say, okay, so strategically, what time do you normally go to bed? Let's say they say 1 o'clock in the morning. Okay, so let's try 12:45. And then the next night, let's try 12:30. And then after about 3 or 4 days of doing that, let's now up the ante and wake up 15 minutes earlier. So now you're going to bed 15 minutes earlier and you're waking up 15 minutes earlier. That's not gonna hit you in the gut. That's not gonna make you walking around feeling like a zombie the way that shocking your system into a 2-hour earlier wake up would do. So what we were able to do, and this was with several different people who struggled with time management so that they could do other things, is that these people went from hitting the snooze button like 8 times and still being late to work to having anywhere from a half an hour to an hour to sometimes 2 hours a day that they were not able to capitalize on. And with that now, we can structure what to do with those 2 hours. How much time are you going to study? How much time are you going to do filling out resumes and mailing them out and making phone calls and contacting your clients or putting into your classes? So that's like a kind of universal idea. There are others that have to do with specific hurts or pain or toxic relationships, and they need to learn the tools to communicate. They need to first learn that their voice matters, because sometimes they don't even know how to communicate, or that it's okay to communicate, and that their perspective is important. So, it literally spans whatever the client need is. You have to assess what they need and then give them the small manageable steps. I like to call them lily pads sometimes, because like you hop from one to the next, right?
I like that.
And so I like to set them up with that so that it's not my success, it's their success. And when they learn how to do it, they learn how to sustain it. That's the important thing.
Yeah, that's awesome. So on another thing I was thinking when you mentioned earlier is like when people are dealing with different traumas and things that happened to them in the past, or voices that continually go on. Back in the day when I was real young, I was always told I was lazy. And I'm far from lazy.
Right.
And so I had to really unlearn that, whatever it was in my head that kept saying, oh, you're lazy, to like, no, I'm productive when I choose to be, and I get everything done in a timely fashion. Like I literally had to like use a new mantra just to kind of get my place where I felt like I wasn't always, where I wasn't always missing. No, are you okay? I can hear you. Okay. Oh wait.
We're good.
Yes, I can hear you. So I used to have to figure out, you know, I had to figure out, well, at that time on my own, we didn't have life coaches when I was 12, so, or 20.
Or 30 in some of our cases, right?
Yeah.
We live, we learn, we grow.
Something very new, right?
It's a process.
And so, you know, I learned that I wasn't lazy, and I knew that, and I innately knew I wasn't lazy, but I always felt like I wasn't getting enough done. And so I had to learn how to kind of change that mindset that you were talking about. So I think it's really helpful when people can, you know, recognize something that has been holding them back from who they truly are and who they truly authentically want to be, and then be able to get the help with the help of somebody else, like a life coach, to be able to like just get past that thing. How long do you think, for on the average, of course, everybody's different, like we said, how long does somebody work with you to kind of get past a certain issue, or get past a particular focus, like with the time management? Obviously,
that's
a little
fair.
bit easier, and some things I know take longer. But what would you say is the average that
Sure.
or the range? Let's do a range.
Absolutely. So on something like time management, or on something like specific productivity or budgeting, right? Because that's another area. Finances are a cornerstone. It's one of those pillars that you need in order to be able to move forward to higher vibrational things, per se. So something like that, a budget, time management, a resume, or, you know, going for a specific job, that's going to last for, you know, the duration of getting that product done. Once you have your budget and we do our check, you know, we'll do the budget that might take, I don't know, 2 hours, that we'll sit down and do that. Then they'll have an accountability check-in. And then they have the option. I have free videos that they can watch to help support that, or they can give a call and ask a quick question, no problem. If they need further specific services, like how to bring down my credit revolving debts, or how to up my FICO score, then maybe that's another session later. But it could be anywhere from a 2 or 3 hour intensive session to deal with something that's concrete, that has a specified goal, that is time sensitive, like that. Or if you're talking about things like trauma, because you wanted a range, right? There's all kinds of stuff in between. Trauma is a whole nother ballgame. And I am a firm believer that you need to be able to tap into all of your available resources. So drawing on a couple of clients that I'm thinking of, I was the cracked door, right? That helped them feel safe to talk about their feelings, to identify the sources of some of the pain. And some of that was mindset work, some of that was journaling, some of that was kind of like a childhood regression kind of thing, where you just like literally are talking to your younger self and talking them through the problem and identifying who put those thoughts into your head, and to counteract it, right, with some of those reprogramming thoughts like you were talking about. And something like that I've worked with for about 8 weeks, 10 weeks, but also with the understanding that as we get to that 6th week, as we get to that point where, like, you know, you trust me, right? You know, I'm not going to give you anything that's going to hurt you. You know, I'm speaking this for your good, et cetera, et cetera. Have you considered And now I'm going to start looking at what other resources are going to be there to support them. In some cases, it was Alcoholics Anonymous. In another case, they had to reconnect with their probation officer because they were dodging their probation officer. In another case, they actually sought psychiatric help because they needed psychiatric help. It went deeper than simple mindset strategies, journaling, accountability. So recognizing that coaching is not a substitute for traditional therapy or any kind of medical practice, but it can augment because it comes from a different place. The goals and the methods are different. And when they work in tandem, I feel that there's more complete and long-lasting healing.
Yeah. And you know what? And that's the important thing is like in life, thankfully, there are a lot of resources. And sometimes the stepping off point would be a life coach, or the stepping off point might be some other type of support. And then, you know, the type of work that you do would then bring them to that next thing that they need to, you know, give those resources a try, see how they work out.
Absolutely.
With them, right?
I'll never forget that someone I respect, one of my mentors, taught me that sometimes you have to go where you are wanted in order to provide what is needed.
Yeah.
So teaching budgets is not like fantastic fun for me because I'm not an accountant. I'm not a numbers wonk. But what I am is a mom of 6 who was able to cut $300 and change out of my grocery bill, who was able to change my FICO score from a literal non-registered number. Like my FICO score was so low, it did not register. After my divorce, no number for you. To well, you know, I'm knocking the door to that 700 club. Like in another week or two, I'll be in the 700 club. So 700 is considered, you know, you're doing okay. You still got room to grow, but you're doing okay.
Yeah.
And to be able to refinance a car or to pay off student loans. So I live, I learn, I teach. That's kind of the mantra that I go with.
Nice. That's awesome. And you know what? Success breeds success. So as you do one thing, then another one kind of comes your way and you go, oh, I can do that too now, you know, which I think
never stop learning.
Yeah.
Never stop learning.
Why don't you give people your name and email and your phone number, because we're going to get close to your time. And then I'm also going to ask you on your pricing, how you manage that, or what people can expect to pay should they want your services.
Okay. So my name is Typhanie Winfield-Alexander. I am on Facebook. The business page is Momentum Life Mastery Coaching. Okay. The telephone number is 860-778-1415. And I'm on Instagram at Typhanie Got Goals. Typhanie is spelled Typhanie, got G-O-T, goals, G-O-A-L-S, all lowercase, one word on Instagram. I have to learn all that little lingo.
Yeah.
The services are going to depend. There's always an initial consultation because just because we talk that first time doesn't necessarily mean that we're a good fit. So the good fit call is to make sure that I'm a good fit for you, that you're a good fit for what I can do, and that I feel that based on what you present to me, that we're able to work together and that there can be some success. So there's always a consultation call. It generally lasts between 20 and 30 minutes just to kind of get a read on what the concern is and whether or not I can help. I ethically do not take on clients that I do not believe we can be successful with. So if we work together, I've seen and I believe and I trust that we can move forward. That's number one. Number two, the intensives are going to differ. Okay, so we can do a 2-hour intensive for $297. And the 2-hour intensive always comes with that entire week. You have follow-up emails and follow-up check-ins. So it's in that moment, but there's also the follow through, because I'm a big believer that you can't just, you know, here's your 2 hours, that's it, off you go, and then not follow up. How do I know that you got what you needed? How do I know that you're able to integrate what you learned? How do I know if you have any additional questions? And how do I know if something we said is working and whether or not it needs to be tweaked? So that $297 for the 2-hour intensive is not exclusive to that 2 hours. It has additional support. And then obviously, the more you come, what I do is I add what you've already paid to ongoing packages, right? So if you were to do a package for $997, right? And that could be a 6-week package again with that same kind of accountability. I'm not going to start you all over after you've already paid the $297. Does that make sense?
Right,
So I'm going to roll that value in, and then we can continue to work. Because, be honest, I mean, financial hardships can stop people from being able to grow. Then for specific things like the budgeting, that's something that we can do. $87, we sit down, you know, we do that. For let me work with you for a week on your time management, that might only be an hour that we actually meet. And then I'm going to give you the strategies that you now have to go home and implement. Right. Yeah. So again, that's going to be less than $100. I would say that the highest end would be like where you're doing the coaching, you're doing the business building, and it's an extended program for 6 months. And that can be 4 figures. And I don't do those often. And those have to go through an astringent interview process to ensure that we can work well together and that you're going to do the work, because your success is my success. Let's be honest. And then I do classes, I do workshops. At Bridge, for example, Bridge Healing Arts Center, I do workshops there. Those are less than $100. So there's all different range. There's something for everybody. And I don't want finances to be a barrier. So what I always do is I have people come and say, listen, here's my situation and let's see what we can do. I do payment plans. I do credit cards. We're an official business. You know, it's not going in my back pocket, you know, it's going into the bank and there are receipts, etc. So, you know, again, I'm just doing the best I can to spread as much of this life altering mindset work and these skills and strategies that have helped me survive. I'm going to be 48 this year and I've been through some stuff. And to be standing here and be able to share that with people and to see them have breakthroughs because of what I've gone through makes it all worth it. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We get you there. Well, I want to thank you very much for being on the show today and giving people an idea of what you do, how you do it, and how it kind of moves forward.
And Shirley, I'm going to do one thing for you.
Sure.
Okay. I'm going to pull, these are random. There's like no specific order. Okay. This is something where I'm just going to say, tell Shirley what she needs to hear today. Okay.
Oh, I love messages. Go.
All right. And I'm going to pull one. And it says, I am superior to negative thoughts and low actions. I am superior to negative thoughts and low actions.
I'm writing it down.
I am superior to negative thoughts and low actions. So that was just for you.
Wow, I like it. Well, you know I'm an action-oriented person, so that totally.
Yes, ma'am. And then I'm gonna give you one more thing for people who are watching.
Sure.
Today was my very first ever viral showcase with Shirley from Benefit Holistic Fairs. I'm gonna roll this very first up, put it into my very first box. And at the end of the year, you get this little box and you open it up and you celebrate your year of very first and wins as part of your New Year's celebration. So that is my gift to you as well. Start keeping track of your wins and your first and celebrate at the turn of the year, because 2020 is challenging us, but we're going to beat it.
Oh yeah, we got this covered, right? Well, thank you so much. That's been wonderful.
Thank you.
Getting a little bit more in depth into your business and what you do and how you do it, basically. So I'm appreciative that you wanted to come on the show today and give people an overview. So hang tight. We're going to be doing myself actually, and also Bradford. And then at the end, wrap up with everybody and give everybody's information again the last time. And then once I have it all set, then it'll be going on onto the YouTube channel. So, so I think Brad, I'm just going to do a shorter version of mine to give you a little bit more time too. Just like I did with Typhanie. Okay. And so I'm going to talk a little bit today for myself. There you go.
There we go.
How weird is that? It's okay, right?
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing.
This is interesting. So some of you know I do a few different things and wear a number of hats. But I do also, like Typhanie and Brad, have very much a passion to help people and to be involved in any types of healings or any types of wellness support and that type of thing. And so today I'm just going to talk a little bit about my essential oils. So I'm going to put them on like this. I think you can all see them. So here's just, for an instance, one little box of oils that I have stacked up here that talk talk about the brand Ameo. And the reason I actually have chosen this brand is multifaceted, but I came upon it a couple of years ago. I think, I'm trying to remember, but all the ones, I'll just give you another little look-see. Obviously, the big sellers are things like lavender, lemon, and orange, as you can see here. But I also have specific ones that are for specific issues. So, and I won't go into all the specifics. I mean, a lot of people know that you can just go on the internet and look what does coriander do? What's it good for? What's oregano good for? What's peppermint good for? What's frankincense good for? So those are the kinds of things. German chamomile, I've got a little bit of that right now. So one of the things that I like about essential oils is they support at a cellular level. And so when you are being supported at a cellular level, just like some of the other things and people that we've had on the show before, that seems to really enhance your body's ability to do the healing work that it needs to do the wellness recovery work that maybe you're need to do, or continue supporting you in what you do on a daily basis. So the reason I came about with the Ameo oils is actually, and some of you know my friend Dennis, he is still to this day, obviously, a wellness, an essential oil expert. Like he's been formulating and doing things in the field for over 30 years, well before essential oils became a hot item. And you'll hear a lot of different brands out there. And one of the things I said to him when we first started with this company, because we were together at the same time, taking a look at this and deciding, how good are they on a pharmaceutical grade? How good are they on people being able to use it and being safe with them? How good are they? And he said, honestly, he says, and I've been doing this, for a long, long time. And he's formulated for big companies like Bed Bath & Beyond and Body Works and places like that, where he's actually put together formulations for their product line, whether it was a body lotion or a shampoo or what have you. So he really knows his stuff. He also has the ability, which I do not have, of being able to take a bottle, smell it. His olfactory system is like amazing. He can tell you almost everything that's in there. Like, it blows me away. My father had that ability with food. He was a chef, but he had that ability to taste a gravy or taste a sauce or even a salad dressing and then tell you everything that was in it. Like, he could duplicate it. Dennis can do that too. So I trusted Dennis's, not only his physical attributes to telling me these oils were good, but I trusted his knowledge base to say, you know what, these really are not just therapeutic. They're beyond that level. Like there's the garbage stuff you can buy at Walmart and CVS. Okay, let's be real here. They're selling essential oils, what they call essential oils, for, $9.99. Well, you can't expect to have a really good quality product if you're only paying $9.99 for it. Just my opinion here, but I'm pretty sure I'm accurate on that. And the same thing goes with other brands. And not that these are that much more expensive, but they are good quality and they're third-party tested. So he said to me, he goes, and he's formulated for some of the big names that are out there. And so he knows their product line inside out. And actually, I should say from the inside, because he's worked with the companies at corporate, developing some of the oils that were for some of those companies. And I'm not going to name names because I don't think it's necessary. I'm just going to say that in his opinion, and which I take to being a very, what would you say, profound opinion on it, he says these are the best he's ever seen. And so I was really happy to hear something like that because I felt like I could stand behind a quality product. That's one thing that I've always looked for. And when I've been involved in any type of a business that I want to share something with somebody else, I want to make sure it's a good quality product, that there's good third-party testing and all those kinds of things. The other thing I found out was as long as those bottles are, even when they're open, as long as they're taken care of properly, they almost never go rancid, which a lot of other brands go rancid between 6 to 9 months. So you know how long a small bottle can last you, like years. If it's rancid 6 to 8 months later, it's really no good at that point anymore. So I thought that was very important. And the reason for that is the carrier oil that we use is called fractionated coconut oil, and that doesn't go rancid. You've probably had things in your home that you use for cooking and they've gone rancid, like regular coconut oil can. So I just thought it was interesting that, you know, they decided to use a very stable and efficient base, thank you, for putting this product line together. So one of the things that I thought would be really good, for, especially now, for people is the ability for people to get things like this if they need them at a reasonable cost. So I'm going to be doing them at half of wholesale. So for instance, yeah, I decided anything, especially everything I have in stock. If it's not in stock, then it's going to just be wholesale, which I'm happy to order things for people. But say for Copiaba, half of wholesale, $42.50 is wholesale. So half of wholesale, you're looking at $21.25 for a bottle of Copiaba. And Copiaba helps with a lot of pain issues. It's similar to the way CBD oils works. Just to give you a for instance. Here, let me see. I'll get to the page where it says lavender, just to give people an idea of what we're talking about. So we're not. Let's see. Lavender. Can't spell this morning. Well, let's go to something I can spell. Orange. Orange. No, I can read and I can spell orange. So orange, a 15 milliliter bottle is normally, it actually only sells for $14. Wholesale is just about 10, so I would sell that for $5. The lemon is actually something you can use. Like some people love to have a little something in their water that they drink all the time. I drink a lot of water every day. Personally, I don't want anything in my water, but there's a lot of people. There you go, girl. Good for you. Keep that going. And personally, because I like just like, I like it cold too, which I know there's a lot of controversy whether it should have room temperature or cold, but I'll drink it any old way it comes as long as I want my water. But some people love to put a drop or two of the lemon in their water, and then you're not dealing with fresh lemons and them going bad, or having to be someplace to put something in your water. You can literally put a drop or two, and it really has quite a robust flavor to your lemon water now. So I just thought it was interesting. That's fairly inexpensive. I'm just going through my sheet here. How is it that I can't spell lavender today? Here we go. Oh, you know why? Because it's under True Lavender. That's why. I'm like, where is my lavender? It's not in the L's. So lavender 25. So you're looking at like $12.50. So pretty decent. And like I said, that's one bottle. My daughter's constantly requesting that. She loves lavender for releasing stress and having less anxiety and all those kinds of things. And I use it too. I have a little diffuser at home. I do have some diffuser products left. Our company, just so you know, is shifting. We got bought out, which happens with big marketing companies. And I know they're going to get rid of some of the oils that we did carry. I'm not sure which ones they're keeping. But I can try and get you anything that you want if people are interested in that. So I just thought, a little overview of what we do and a little bit, oh, I got somebody coming in. A little bit of, some of the things that oils can do are available online. You can look them up. If you're dealing with an issue, you can actually ask Siri, hey Siri, which essential oil is good for, and then name your issue. It's interesting how easy it is nowadays to find this information. It's like, I obviously sometimes need to look in the book, you know what I mean? It's like, I got to look this up. And so that I know it. So like, say for instance, Ylang-Ylang is an interesting one. It's a blend. And so it's very good for when people have sleep issues or anxiety, stressful things happening in their life. So Ylang-Ylang is a good one for that. But sometimes somebody will give me something. I'm like, geez, I don't know. I got to go look that up. Of course, if I called Dennis, he would tell me right off the top of his head because he's been doing it for so long. So I can't say that every single one of them. We've got over 200 of them. And so, there's different ones that are available for different issues. But the nice thing is there's stuff that, like I said, it lasts for a long time. It's not going to go rancid on you. It's very good quality. And while I have the inventory right now and during the COVID time, I can ship it to people or they can just meet me somewhere for a drop off with our with our physical distancing, hashtag physical distancing. So we're working on getting things to people as they need them.
Is it okay to ask a question?
Of course, sure.
Okay, good. Just a quick question about the oils, because I have some of them and they're just from like all over, because I really don't know too much about it. So this was actually
Okay.
But the question I had is, I have 2 rescue dogs, and one of them is starting to experience something that can occur with older dogs, endocrine issues, and he's having like folliculitis and hair loss and or fur loss and things like that. But he's not in any pain, and I was just wondering if you can use those oils because they're safe for us. If you know anything about animals with them.
I do know about animals, but I'm limited in my knowledge about it. If I had a question about something like that, I would definitely go and text Dennis, because he really knows his stuff. Some oils are very dangerous for animals such as cats. Cats have a lot of difficulty if you have certain oils in your home, and they can really do a lot of damage to them. So you do need to be aware that both cats and dogs can have negative effects with using oils in the home, whether it's aromatic or some other way. So my caution is always to do a lot of research, which I can do for you if there were those particular issues that you just mentioned. We can look into that, and we can find out if there is something that we can perhaps add to their diet or allow them to have some exposure to that might be helpful. But again, that's something you want to use an abundance of caution with. When it comes to animals. Absolutely. So hopefully that's helpful to you.
Thank you.
It is definitely treatable. There's other things that sometimes people who are really good with animal things, I'm going to call that, not just veterinarians. So like years and years ago with my dog, when I had the last dog that I had, one of the things she was scratching a lot. I don't know if she was just itchy or if it was fleas, or, you never know what it is with a dog sometimes. I used to add a raw egg to their food, and that seemed to help. So I don't know if that helps at all. Egg, also olive oil, pure olive oil is always very good with animals, because I think sometimes they do tend to get some dryness. And so that's another just homeopathic type of a way to address it. But if it's beyond that, if it's gone beyond that level, and that's, or you've already been doing that and it's not working, then we could definitely look into what you need to do for your pet. So I can definitely check that out for you. But any other questions on that?
No, thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, thanks for being part of the thing today. And I do want people to know they can ask questions. I probably didn't mention that in the beginning. You're certainly, I have most people unmuted. Just, you can mute yourself when you are making noise, but I have everybody unmuted so that we can do that and be interactive here. So if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to entertain them. But also, one of the things that is important to me is that you're able to reach me. So I know I have this show, and I do holistic events for a living, and obviously I can't do them right now. The next one coming up is all the way in July. Hopefully we're past most of the craziness in terms of lockdown stuff in state of Connecticut anyways. So July 19th is the next VFW event, and then the big one, the expo, is going to be on August 23rd. So people can always get these items from me at an event, because I usually bring them with me. I don't advertise it, and I don't have a booth because I'm running the event. So, you're more than welcome to reach out to me. My phone number is 860-989-0033. And you can just do yourholisticevents@gmail is an easy email for people to connect with me. So yourholisticevents@gmail and 860-989-0033. So that pretty much covers me, right? So if there's anything anybody wants to know about some of these oils, or if you're interested in any of the information that I have about oils in general, I'm more than happy to send me an email. I'll do some research, find out what your issue is, and see if there's something I can help you with. So,
quick question, Shirley.
Sure, go ahead.
Do you have a specific kit for asthma and respiratory, or is it still like you would rather do it one-on-one? Like, do you have you need these 6 oils for asthma and respiratory concerns, or
Actually,
like, is
we
it a
actually,
consultation?
it doesn't usually have to even be a consultation. For respiratory issues, we have something called AGX Breathe, which I have in stock. And it literally is something that it's a topical. And I don't know that you need more than that, to be honest with you.
Got it.
I can look into it further, obviously.
No, this is why I asked the
Absolutely.
question, because I
we
wasn't
don't-
even aware of that.
Yeah, there's a lot of companies that sell kits for certain issues and stuff. We pretty much, or the way I would do it is I would pick and choose the things that I felt were the right things after doing the research that you need to do to find out what's going to be appropriate for that person. So there's not so much a kit involved. I'm not sure how much AGX Breathe is. I'd have to look that up. But I know that we've had some issues, and of course right now with breathing issues, everybody's been talking about that. So you're looking at $20 for that little bottle. That's half of wholesale. It retails for a little over 50.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So one of the things that I like is that this company does make a couple of products that are specific to certain things, like the breathing. And I know that people, when they had some colds in their families, I was watching, we have Facebook pages with our business, and people would talk about, oh, my child had this issue, and I put a little bit of this on their back, and before you knew it, they were breathing soundly and sleeping again. You know what I mean? Breathing comfortably and sleeping again, like they weren't coughing all night anymore. So I know that the products do work, and I personally did never use that one because I haven't had a need for it. But I know people, personal friends who have had that issue with child or themselves and have found relief from it. So
we had a situation with my daughter with an asthma attack in the middle of the night, and the problem was that she had already taken the prescribed inhaler. Honestly, probably about 3 times more than she should have before she made us aware that she was having difficulties. Now, mind you, she's an adult, but that's not the point. The point was that she had already taken too much of this medicine. And I was like, well, we got one of 2 things. We can either try this essential oil blends, and I had the pot of water, and I put the oils in there and put her head in the steam. And that helped her within 20 minutes from having to go to the ER. But I was wondering if there was something specific that was more.
It's preventative then.
Exactly.
Or could
Thank
be.
you.
Yeah, and obviously neti pots and things like that are wonderful to have, right? Yeah. So thank you very much. All right. Well, I'm going to wrap it up because I want to give Brad the rest of the time. So you can go right there to Mr. Bradford Tilden. How are you, Brad?
I'm well, thank you. Thank you for having me, and thank you everyone who's attending live. It's nice to see all of you, some of you meeting for the first time. Can you give me like a 2-minute heads up? Because you know me, I've got so much stuff, and I would like to really anchor in the importance and to reflect primarily the energies and the frequencies of what I have to offer, because I come from a very special place with my services. I continue to understand what I bring to others and to the world. And I work on a very large scale with human consciousness and with the Earth's vibrations, but also with individuals who are looking for that next step in their evolution, spiritually, emotionally, psychically, whatever. We all came here at this time with a very specific purpose for ourselves. And we are all so integral to the whole. The most important thing that I want to offer other people is an opportunity for them to embrace their own power, their own truth, and their own authenticity in what they have to offer to the world. The coronavirus right now is creating a very unique experience that it's demonstrating the weaknesses in the old systems and the old structures and giving us an opportunity to build new ones and to really grow into this, golden age, the new earth, all of this stuff, which could seem fantastical, unrealistic, idealistic, but the reality is it's here, and the earth herself is raising her vibration. And that is such a significant thing to understand because it affects all life and all consciousness. And I am in a unique position where with what I came here to do and what I followed my path and I followed my intuition, you know, along my life, guiding myself to seemingly irrational decisions, to move to San Francisco without a job, to enroll in a sound healing school, to take these crazy classes called Universal White Time Gemstone Healing, only to discover that this was my true calling. And then to come back here to the East Coast with this knowledge and these vibrations and these frequencies. I don't know if you can feel them, but I'm projecting them into the screen right now. I'm here as a representative of Universal White Time. It is more than just a modality, and it's more than just a philosophy. It is a reality of the awakening process that humans are going through at this time. This seems very large and heady and, you know, fantastical and spiritual, but we are spiritual beings having a physical experience. And what I do with individuals is I remind them of that. I'm not a healer. I facilitate healing with the White Time training and other things that I offer, which I'll talk about. I provide vibrations and frequencies and support for people to release the blockages that they either contracted in incarnating here, to give them the opportunities to learn and to grow, because that's really what all, like, you know, bad stuff that happens to you, it's just opportunity. And as Typhanie was talking about the mindset, I really work with getting people to embrace their power and realize that they are just a sovereign being of love and light. And I do that in very grounded, practical ways. My medium is frequency. I'm first and foremost a composer of music, and I channel sound healing. And I discovered when I was 25 that I had this incredible ability to sense frequencies, especially those of gemstones. And in fact, anything, like when I work with people via distance healing, I can tune in, I can feel their vibration. So that's basically what I do. And my company is called, my business is Crystal Music Healing. Makes a lot of sense. So, right?
Right.
And, you know,
that's what I like. I always like the name of your business, obviously.
Crystal Music Healing. It says enough. And so, right now I'm working on building awareness of the distance healing sessions that I have to offer, especially with social distancing. I will do in-person sessions, but right now the distance sessions can be comprised of an intake, a briefing, deciding where you're, what you want to get out of these sessions, and then as a level 4 gemstone healing practitioner and level 3 gemstone healing teacher, I have hundreds of different gemstones that I work with in layouts. This is just one of my things. These are all different gemstones. And well, let me just, all right, I'll show you this.
Some people aren't familiar with maybe what grid work is.
Yeah, so I'm teaching a level 1 class in June, fingers crossed, at a wellness center in Higganum. This is one of the layouts from this class. It's the layout of total balancing of the solar plexus.
Okay.
And what happens is when you take the class, you receive all the layouts. So here's the stones, and they are placed along the central axis of the body, and the collective interaction of the stone's vibrations creates the desired result. There are layouts for chakras, for physical healing. Typhanie, I have something to share with you. Actually, in the level 1 class, it's so funny because I pulled the lung clearing out earlier today. And what you do, it's quite simple. I have a snazzy, size doesn't matter, Crystal, but here's a Herkimer diamond and a lapis lazuli. And you take them in your hand, and you don't need an initiation to get the energies because the vibrations of the crystal are constant and endless. So, you know, they don't have an expiration date. Crystals can be your tools and companions throughout your lifetime and beyond if you properly maintain them, charge them, and love them. And so what you do, you know, basically you're stroking up and you're basically clearing your lungs and up to your throat, and you have the person like the energy out, and you just repeat that. This is one of the techniques that we learn in the level 1 class. And
That's awesome. I actually have both of those.
I can talk to you later also, but if you want. Actually, I would like to, connect on that at a more significant level with you later.
You know what's really interesting? I have a friend who calls it the rocks do what they do. It doesn't matter the size. I think it's funny that you said that too.
Because it's frequency. It's like if you have a radio or the television, the volume's low or the volume's high. That's the difference. It's just the intensity of it.
Right.
So grounding. Okay, so the distance sessions. So I always choose, or we talk about receiving at least one gemstone layout during the session. It's phenomenal how powerful gemstone healing is via distance. When I was first doing this, I put on my website because I wanted to practice free gemstone healing, and I got all these requests from all these different people. And then this one woman, she contacts me, and I kid you not, she says, "I want to hire you for 6 months worth of gemstone sessions. Here's $5,000." And I gave her 6 months worth of sessions, and then she says, "I want you to come to Portugal and teach this." And I did. And that she's actually a very good friend of mine. For several years, I was going back and forth to Portugal. And this is the kind of opportunity that White Time opens up to people. It is an expansive group. It's a community that's global. And with every person that White Time touches and raises their frequency, we are achieving far more and more this goal of manifesting this new reality, this new dimensional awareness. So, and then I also do the energy healing, and there's several other signs. I would love for people to experience the energy of White Time. It's very special. It's very pure and strong. It differs from other modalities because the source of White Time actually comes from someplace beyond the universe. That was a place that was formed before this actual universe was created. And White Time is all inclusive. Anyone who does White Time, a lot of modalities say you have to do this, and you have to do it this way. Some modalities say you can't do any other modality, you only have to do this. And that's just a red flag, because we're all looking, we're all simultaneously going through the process of individuation and yet unifying into this oneness. And White Time simply works with the higher vibrations of unconditional love and divine truth and light. And it's very pure. And there are protections when you receive initiations so that you're able to work, if you choose, with removing dark force entities, blockages. In my own practice, I am able to perceive a lot of past life death trauma situations. They present themselves as weapons that are able to be extracted. And I could do deep chakra cleansing and things like that. There's a lot of potential in White Time. And
Brad, just let me interject just a moment. I don't want to take you off your path, but with White Time healing, you also teach classes for people to learn how to do this for themselves, correct?
Oh, absolutely.
And to train people to teach it like you do, correct? You do both levels? So
I'm currently certified to teach the first of 3 of the 4 gemstone classes to practitioners.
Mm-hmm.
I am not able to certify teachers yet.
Okay.
And in the energy healing, there's 4 energy levels, and I'm now certified to teach levels 1 and 2 energy healing. And it's the first initiation is very special because it removes I believe 500. There's all right. I can go into this. It's complicated.
Don't go too far out of
No. Anyway, it's a very large step in your spiritual awareness. We have steps, and one step is equivalent to about 100 hours of meditation if you were to do it the monk way. And this particular initiation removes 500, it has 500 steps. And there's just goes on, and we're all in this continual process of awakening and becoming and peeling the onion and raising our vibration. And White Time is really just a very strong and very pure and very joyous approach to awakening and understanding and understanding larger consciousness. So in the level 1 class, apart from the lung clearing, we create something called the basic kit. And this is basically like a home pharmacy of stones. and you learn each of the stones reasons, and you have this as a resource if you have a headache, if you want to relax. Cassandra, for your dog, you could add a citrine and a malachite to their drinking water, and that would help them. And those stones, you get in this kit. My gemstone teacher, she had an old cat that was very sickly, the tumors and everything. She put these stones in her water, and the tumors cleared up, and she lived, several years later. So there's lots of possibility with gemstones that you don't think about. One of the other services that I do, other than
That's wonderful to hear.
Yeah.
Great.
Other than the distance sessions, which I do follow up with as well, and stuff like that. And I do have clients that contact me like in the middle of the night asking for advice. I encourage independence and trusting individuals' awareness. Like I don't like people that think I'll fix them. But I do have one client who was in that mindset, but I'm able to sort of I'm getting her to understand, if that's what makes any sense.
Right, you want people to get the tools and be able to utilize them on their own, right? You're the teacher.
Yeah.
Now we move on.
Right.
Now we move on to practice.
Yes. So I do have the classes, the level 1 energy healing class, which is the first time I'll be offering it here in Connecticut, is at the Red Barn, two dates. You can find those on my Facebook page, and the level 1 gemstone healing class. Now it's important to know that you don't need to take the gemstone classes in order, but I will be teaching them in rotation. And I also have several workshops in sound healing and crystal healing, and another whole series of classes that I created with my guides, which is a sort of a spin-off that's like Young Sheldon of White Time, which includes sound and crystals, and relates a lot to our experience here as humans since the earliest civilizations of Lemurian Atlantis. I work a lot with Lemurian seed crystals that activate your DNA and help you to access these higher vibrations. And another service, which not many people know about, is I call them personalized gemstone combinations. Even via distance, I can feel if you have a particular intention, I can feel what gemstones would be beneficial for you. Create a layout that looks like the one that I showed you, and you can get the stones, and you can use it to carry as a medicine bag, or to place on the places where I tell you, to support you energetically and through your spiritual and lifetime evolution. And
can you let people know what your Facebook page is again?
Yes, Crystal Music Healing.
Okay. And the website is the same?
Crystal Music Healing. Yes.
I'm assuming .com, right?
.com, yes.
Yeah. Good, okay.
And of course I do the live sound journeys and concerts. It qualifies as a spiritual gathering, so I've been given the green light to do my next one at the Avant-Garde Holistic Center in Bradford, July 25th. Limited seating because of the 6-foot requirement. I do use sound for transformation, and I teach people to use their voice to transform. And the crystal bowls and voice are my primary medium with that. And you can talk to me about the series of those classes as well, or coaching sessions, as you will. And again, going back to frequency, in my process of healing, I would come across a lot of different substances and companies, and and I have to say that I never was interested in essential oils until I felt the vibration of a mayo, and so I have some of those myself. It's very good. And I also started to get drawn towards medicinal mushrooms and the power that they have to transform the body. And I came across this company called Alpha International about 5 years ago. And when I ingested one of their products, I immediately felt that this was absolutely incredibly high and pure in its vibration and its benefit. And so I'm a distributor, I'm a representative for them as well. And they have some very wonderful products that I would love everyone to be utilizing, namely coffee. They have this incredible coffee, and they have a beverage line. And in fact, Mr. Tim over here is enjoying your tea. And the coffee it's very, very beneficial. most coffee, actually all coffee, is actually harmful to the body in the long run, unless you use it as a coffee enema, but we won't go there. It's acidic. Anyway, it does things to the body. They created this product line of beverages which infuses them with the essence, the extractions of the medicinal mushrooms. And so I was obsessed with coffee, and I would spend God knows how much time in the drive-through at Dunkin' Donuts or the line at Starbucks and pay like $2 to $4 for a cup of coffee with a bunch of crap in it. Whereas one cup of coffee here is 67 cents. And it just came to the point where no other coffee really interests me because of the inherent benefit of the medicinal mushrooms. And they also have a whole product line. And Tiffany, there's one that is designed for the lungs, and it's very beneficial for asthmatics. And it's called Nourish. And I'm getting my throat. This means my guides are telling me I'm talking too much.
We're gonna have to wrap up because our time is coming close. So I do want you to give people your phone number or email. I know, excuse me.
Sure. It's a clearing.
Okay, and I want to be able to connect in with Tiffany again, wrap the whole thing up because we're out of time. But it's been wonderful. Who do also a lot of that. I appreciate that you're able to incorporate those in your daily life. Okay?
Yeah, and I'll tell you why.
Take another sip.
No, this was a clearing for me. Because I was very focused on staying grounded when I'm communicating things. My offerings is part of my whole spiritual process. So I'm actually feeling the energetic blockage being removed from my throat right now.
Nice.
So my number is 860-830-5841.
Okay.
You can reach me at that. Send me text, send me a voicemail, or info@crystalmusichealing.com. And you can check my Facebook page out for current opportunities. And you can reach out to me for an introductory session. It includes the advanced first layout, which is a deep soul and body healing, which kind of preps you to be more receptive to crystal healing as you move on.
Wonderful. I thank you so much, Brad. And that's a lot of information. I'm sure people are going to probably have to listen to it again just to grab it all. And I'm going to go back to Tiffany again. Tiffany, why don't you give your find information, your phone number, your email, and your website.
Okay, sure. So I'm at Facebook, Momentum Life Mastery Coaching. And then Instagram is Tiffany Got Goals, TyphaniegotGoals on Insta. The email address, which I did not do earlier, so thank you, Shirley, is momentumforwardtogether@gmail.com. And for the 4, you use the number 4, and for the 2, you use the number 2. So it's MOMENTUM, the numeral 4, WARD, the number 2, GETHER @gmail.com. And I'm going to do one more plug because I believe in the significance of impact. I am a part of a group. I sit on the advisory board for the Project Resiliency Movement that is also on Facebook, and it's all about empowerment and having women to pretty much achieve their higher selves and to come together in a spirit of community and helping each other by lifting each other up. So I wanted to make sure and plug that, as well as some ambassadorship for the Bridge Healing Art Center. Also, you can find them on Facebook. You can find them on the web as well. So I just want to make sure and share all these different places where people can get support and find what works for them. There's something for everyone.
There is something for everyone. Thank you. And thank you for participating today. Brad, thank you for participating today. I'll thank me for participating today. My phone number is 860-989-0033. One of the things that happened last week was the access to the Cloud9, and Brad's on there a lot, and then Timothy let me know that he's been enjoying that platform as well, and I thought, how great is this? And Erlene just signed up for it, so that she can, you know, get some more information on there and do, there's a real lot of great tools that are available to people. A lot of them are free right now because of the COVID, which has been wonderful to see that people are stepping up to the plate and helping people with a lot of fear and a lot of anxiety that's out there. And as that moves forward, I think that's one of the things that people who are in the helping field can really, you know, bring some real guts to it, and make a difference for people going forward. So, you know, what I do in person, other people can do energetically, which is wonderful. And, you know, when I'm limited to do what I'm doing in person, you know, like I won't be able to do it till July. I do have another new idea that just came to me the other day as a friend and I were talking, and we're going to do some 60 to 90 second clips of practitioners stating what they do. And then we're going to put those together in a platform where people can access it, so that different from this format here, and you don't have to be present here to see it later, but in the other one, it'll be an ongoing thing. So an email is going to go out to all of our holistic community professional members. So now you've heard about it first, Brad and Erlene and Tim, that we are going to, you know, make this a new place for people to be able to access practitioners on whether it's products or services, and be able to connect with them and see who they look like, see what they look like, so that you want to, if you want to connect with them, you have an idea of what exactly they do. So they're going to do their elevator speech.
I was just thinking that when you mentioned
so to speak, a little longer than an elevator speech, but
right.
we're going to be doing that with the organization, and then that's going to be brought out onto both the Facebook and the YouTube platforms that I have currently working on. So I think it's really exciting that things are coming around in a different way. And in the chat, you know, some people have put their information. So like Typhanie, for sure, thank you. So if people want that information, feel free to access it there. And you can always reach me at 860-989-0033. Phone calls are welcome. I prefer them. I don't mind text. Either one of those is fine. You can reach me at, actually my formal LLC name is PassItOnLLC.com.
There you go.
Now I'm getting that clearing there.
Yeah.
About clearing here.
Clear those throat chakras, man. Those throat chakras.
I just one more thing thank you for mentioning Cloud9. Their official name now is MediMind, which you can go onto either the Android or the Apple platform on the App Store and type MIND, and you can download the app, and there's a free 90-day trial now because of coronavirus. And most of the music behind the guided meditations has been channeled and created by yours truly.
Yeah.
So,
I saw your name on everything. So
That's fantastic.
The other thing with MediMind is they also have some really good YouTube video meditations as well. I've been using the immune boosting meditation pretty much every day since they put it out, and it's been very, very helpful.
Oh, that's great to hear. I love it. I tell you, there's just some amazing things going on. I'm constantly blown away by how wonderful the world really is. And not in a bad way blown away. I'm excited that finally it's like people are having that awareness of this is the love and light that we've all been, you know, wanting to bring to the earth, and now it's kind of being in the forefront as opposed to hidden away or thinking you're woo-woo or something, you know. and I love it because, you know, we know that more people are being drawn to this, and I think the more we each raise our vibration and are able to do those kinds of things, we're going to have even more people come where they really get what's really important in life. What's really important in life is not, you know, some basketball star and what they're doing and some Hollywood whatever and what they're, I mean, I personally, I never could give a who about those, but I know so many people are obsessed with those things, or just it almost so many times feels like they're just running away from what is their life, going to something to see if they can fill it, and it doesn't work, and then they continually do that same treadmill, and it's unfulfilling. Whereas this real life the one that you're living, the one you're present to, is the real fulfilling life, hopefully for you. And if it's not, then you have people to connect with, like Tiffany and Brad and me and Timothy and other people who do these healing modalities. You know, that's what the whole holistic community professionals.org is doing. You know, we are all about, you know, some level of healing the earth. And I'm so grateful to be a part of it, you know, and be part of that, or not only organization, but with the people that are in it, to be in partnership with them. So I think it's wonderful. So if anyone, I'm going to unmute everyone. If anybody wants to say something before we close up, I'm happy to entertain.
I just wanted to mention that everyone that's here today, that you can find all their information on holisticcommunityprofessionals.com.
Thank you. That is true.
Actually, Earlene, I don't think I'm even on that yet. I still have to get on board with that. Shirley?
Oh yeah, I got to send you an
hold my feet to the fire.
Hold my feet to the fire, because I wanted to do that at the end of last year, and a few things jumped up and I got distracted, but I'm hyper focused today. So
a great resource. It's a
hashtag
great
accountability.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's awesome. It's an awesome group. We're going to have to start doing some Zoom meetings because we can't meet in person yet. So, but we have people in New Hampshire, Vermont, mostly Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, a couple from New York, and one from Virginia. So it's really nice that we're like East Coasting it in terms of wellness. And I love that it's growing that way. And it's a great organization just to be in community minded, the same mindset of what people want to do and get for healing. So I'm more than happy to be part of it. Some of you know I'm the executive director for it, and it's not a paying position, but I'm happy to do it because I want to see more of this. And I think the world is kind of going in our direction where we've been already. We can guide them to, you know, the things that maybe they're looking for, and give them the help that they need and want. Now I think people want it, whereas before I think they needed it, but they didn't know they wanted it. Right?
I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. And something that you said made me kind of laugh inside, and it was when you were talking about everything and saying like everyone looks at it like it's woo woo. Yeah. And it's funny because it's not like I don't feel like it's all brand new stuff. In my family, having like Native American roots, and then my father from Barbados, it's ancestral. So it's not really brand new stuff. It's just that over time and centuries, it's been changed, and people just lost sight of it. And I facilitated a young breast cancer survivor support group in the hospital I work in. And sometimes I have the flexibility and permission to bring in things that people aren't used to, you know, and we'll have like massage therapists, and we'll have meditation, or we'll have nutrition or oils, things like that. So it's good for me to be on here and connect with other individuals, because you guys might be helpful for a crowd that you might not normally talk to.
Absolutely. We've been happy. Most of us
welcome the opportunity.
Yeah. You know what I think is also
friend of mine
amazing?
Works for another organization. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think I'm on a delay. I'm sorry.
You are, but that's okay. Go ahead.
No, I also think it's amazing that we have an opportunity when we teach other people, or when we share with other people, that we get to go back to, wow, you know, that newness of that modality, that like the first time that you ever, I don't know, sensed an energy vibration. Like, do you remember the first time that you ever experienced that, or that you ever felt the energy from someone else, or maybe the first time you ever saw an aura, or the first time you ever really sank into a meditation? Like, experience it with people who've never done it before. Just brings it all back to newness, and it keeps us grounded in the truth of it. And you don't have to worry about, well, you have to do things this way or that way, kind of like what Bradford was saying about it being a red flag if you see that the only way to achieve blah 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 is through these methods. Just by experiencing the realness of the connection and the authenticity, I don't really care what you call it, as it's the same thing. It's love, it's light, it's truth, it's universal, like Bradford was saying, and it's just so beautiful. It's so beautiful. And now I'm starting to see it cross cultures and cross age ranges and socioeconomic backgrounds. Like, it's all about impact, and I'm just so excited this year.
Yeah, this is going to be a great year for those kinds of things. Timothy, you had something?
Yeah, I was just thinking about the whole concept of, woo-woo versus, traditional medicine and all this other kind of stuff. Being the background that I have, A, as a rocket scientist, B, as a, white light healer and stuff like that, it gives me the opportunity to play both sides.
I love
because
that.
I'm tapped in. I understand, where the energetic healing comes from and what modalities are available to a degree. I'm still learning, and I'm happy to learn all the time. But having the background in many, many years of science and a degree in engineering on top of it, I can also understand at an elemental level, at a physics level, why the vibrations work and why it is that Reiki can work, and the sound healing and the crystals and all of it. You take it to a different level, and everything, as Bradford mentioned earlier, everything has vibration. And each time we pick up an object or interact with an environment, we leave a part of ourselves there. Some of our electrons, our cells, and all that kind of stuff stays behind. And some of that comes with us. And when we can embrace that energetic exchange, it can do wonders.
Yeah. So great. So Tim was on one of our earlier shows, so you can find it on my YouTube channel. If you want to see more about what Timothy does at the events, the Opal guy, we'll call you the Opal guy today, and you can find him. And I want to thank everybody. Erlene was on an earlier show as well, so thank you, Erlene, for continuing.
Great information. I love being here. Thank you.
Really, really fun. I'm loving doing this.
Yes.
Maybe I need to do it some more. We'll see what happens. So my first event is coming up in July, which gives me time to do a few things before that. Maybe I will. So look, those of you that are members, look for the emails. And if you're on my Facebook page, Your Holistic Events, you'll also see postings on there, who's coming up next. On the last show we have booked is for May 30th. I think it's whatever next Saturday is. And I can't believe, I didn't even realize it was Memorial Weekend. I want to put a shout out to all those that have served and have done the ultimate sacrifice to our country. So it's Memorial Weekend again. I was like, wow, it happened so fast. It seemed to come out of nowhere. So I want to thank you all for being here and being part of this, and I will see you all next Saturday at 9:30 again. So,
bye, everybody.
Have a wonderful week,
Thank
everybody.
you. Have a
Bye.
wonderful week. Take care, everybody.
bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.